Good afternoon, dear boomers. I want to talk to you about the feeling I got yesterday at the height of the solar eclipse. I felt suddenly very alone and lonely. Very alone and lonely. It's very rare for me to feel that way. But it was like, I realized that the eclipse is not just something that happens at that moment. It is a deep resonance within our souls when it happens, and it is reflected in our astrological chart. At the moment of the eclipse, dear little Maso, dear little Mossy, Mossy Moss, came out and he gazed into my eyes. And it was one of those long gazes of recognition, of love, of unconditional love. As we know, all dogs are like, give us that lesson. And suddenly I realized what a gift it is to be in their presence at all times, because I don't go anywhere. I do blogging and studying YouTube and studying ways to enhance my YouTube channel, and I study ways of perhaps making more income in a way that happens a little bit faster than the ordinary length of time that it takes. And in that moment, I suddenly realized how wonderful it is to be with these animals. I'm taking care of an extra dog. Her name is Luna. Luna, little Looney Tune, Looney Tune. And there's a little pearly girl. So, these animals, and I have a parrot now for the week. My friend has gone to Europe and she has let me take care of the dog Luna and the parrot whose name is Jeans. Short for genius. Yesterday's video showed you Jeans. He is, or she is was very, very still yesterday. That may have been the influence of the eclipse. Very still, like a monk in meditation, barely moving. And of course, she had just been dropped off, and perhaps she actually hadn't left her home for a number of years. And here she was in a new environment that was very open and bright, with classical music going constantly. She was so still and unmoving. But today, I brought her food in, and I brought her water, and I was talking to her. Then she was moving about the cage every now and then, making a parrot sound, not talking in English at this moment. And I will go back at some point today and sing to her, and perhaps take my violin in there and see if she likes that, because that would be fun. But today she's not in that still mode. She is talking a little bit, and she went down to eat her food and drink her water, and she enjoys me coming in and out. That is really fun. I don't think I think she's used to being almost like a cloistered nun or monk, and I get from her a real feeling of wisdom and very much depth to her whole being. Now, I didn't watch her during the total eclipse when the eclipse became total, because I was more interested in watching it happen. And at the height of the eclipse, when I felt that feeling of loneliness, which I think it had to do with the universe being so huge, and maybe even feeling a little bit small in comparison. The birds did stop singing outside. There was a feeling, and the animals completely went to sleep. They didn't even want to be outside. And so in that moment of feeling, a part of it all, you feel a part of it all, but you also feel that it's not what we think it is. And it's not the moment that it happens, and that's it. That's what everybody was concentrating on, that they saw the eclipse and they thought it was pretty cool. And then they all go about their business as if that is over now, but it's not over. the deep, the depth of contact that we're having with the universe in the moment of an eclipse, in the moment of the sunrise, the sunset, the new moon, the full moon, and the sun as it hits your chart at your birthday. These are very deep, inner, contemplative times that we take for granted, or we don't pay any attention to it at all. So today is the day after the eclipse. Nobody's talking about it anymore. So a friend of mine has a wise sage astrologer who works near Ann Arbor, Michigan, and he's an elderly person. And I would use that elder word wisely because he's a wise elder who is fascinating about astrology. So I reached out to him. The solar eclipse fell in a very pronounced place on my astrological chart. I've had that done since birth. My mother was into astrology. And looking at those configurations in my chart made me realize that I need to work with my chart and what I am doing. I am expanding business, and I want the business to be heartful. I want to be there for people. I want to have compassion for the senior citizens of this, probably the USA more than anywhere. And well, the senior citizens everywhere. And we are all growing older, but are we actually growing wiser? I went to the funeral of another astrologer friend of mine the other day, and the older people there were, some of them were seemingly gleeful in who they were, but others were very sad about aging, which is what is a mindset that I hope to discuss more often, and also bringing death out of the closet. It's a cyber conversation that we can have. And in my membership site, which I am developing for boomers and seniors, we can talk about mindset and growing out of the ageism. The ageism in our society is not anything that we need to embrace. And there are a lot of people who do not embrace it. And those are the people I want to learn from. I have read a few things lately about firing the people in your environment if they aren't upholding you. But the people I have in my environment are upholding me, and they're very kind of few and far between. But I do have friends, and they resurface every now and then, and I love them dearly. It really doesn't matter if they uphold me or not. I love them. I love everybody, and I don't have to criticize them or judge anybody, or even judge myself. We're all here together. We are magnificent human beings, and the solar eclipse completely drugged out this guy. He's just all tired today. He's so tired. Ha! Yes, life is beautiful, and any feeling that comes up in you, love it, embrace it, breathe through it, and when you do, it changes. Nothing is permanent except for the gratitude and the love. When you elevate your emotions and you get into these feelings of love, unconditional love and gratitude, those things are permanent. And you have to use that habitually throughout the day to be all you can be. Breathing through the heart and letting that breath go in and out, you are automatically getting the brain to become into harmony with your heart. Your heart is the magnetic field of influence in your life. And the more you use your heart as a in and out kind of magnetic signature on your day-to-day life, not just in morning meditation or not just evening meditation, but take those gratitude breaks and make sure that you are living in gratitude for the future that has yet to come. And that is the answer to dealing with emotions like loneliness or feeling alone, and this in relationship to the universe, the universal things that happen that we have no control over, that's normal. And it's important to recognize it and to lift it up to higher realms of understanding and consciousness. And you may hear that now that Maso is snoring. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Much appreciated. Bye-bye.